I found my favorite quote when I was in high school, and it's "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams, live the life you imagined." It's from Henry David Thoreau. I think it is the perfect way to describe how I feel about life. Live the life you imagined. What do you want out of life? Once you know what it is, go after it, and that's where goals come in. Hello, my fellow fasting foodie friend, it's Jackie, and today we're going to talk about 2023 goals. So let me know in the comments, are you someone that looks forward to the new year and you love the potential and the possibility, or are you someone that absolutely hates New Year's resolutions, goals, all associated things? I personally am on this camp where I love the thought of renewal and goals. I always set New Year's goals. So today I want to encourage you to consider goals for the 2023 year. I want to encourage you that change is possible. And I also want to tell you my framework for making goals. It's not something I came up with, it's just what I follow, and share with you what my 2023 goals are. Maybe they'll give you ideas for your own personal life. So when I consider making goals, I make sure they follow a very well-known framework called SMART goals. S-M-A-R-T. S stands for specific. Basically, it's a well-defined goal. You're not going to be able to achieve it if you don't know what you're trying to achieve. M is measurable. Basically, what's the criteria on if you achieve it or not? How can you measure success? A is attainable. You want this goal to push yourself, but you also want it to not be impossible. It also has to be relevant. It's called relevant, realistic. Basically, does it apply to your life? So is it something that has purpose and meaning in the life and the stage that you're at right now? Maybe it fits the life I want to have. That still is relevant, but you need to make sure it makes sense. Finally, the T of SMART is timeliness or timely. Basically, you're trying to give yourself a sense of urgency. You want to have a goal date or an end date or a time frame that you're working within. Because if I say I'm going to save $10, the goal is drastically different if I'm going to save $10 in the next 2 days or if I'm going to save $10 over the next 10 years. Do you see how it makes a difference in your goal? So make sure that you are very intentional, that it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. That's the framework that I use. Again, it is like business school 101, but it's so prevalent because it's very effective. It helps you, if you think of those 5 components for your goals, you're going to set really well-structured goals, and if your goals are set up well, you're more likely to achieve them. So now that I shared with you the framework that you can consider with making your goals, I'm going to share with you what my 2023 goals are, and that might inspire you as you craft your own. My first goal is to read 24 books in 2023. So that is an average of 2 books a month. It doesn't have to be that. I would like to have a daily habit of reading, but my overall goal is 24 books in the next year. I have read way more than that in a year before, and years like this year, I probably only read maybe 10 books this year. So I like to read. It's just I need to be in the daily habit of it, and that is a goal of the year, is 24 books. I will log them. I am not saying that they have to be nonfiction, self-help, memoirs. I'm just saying 24 books. That is a goal. The first book that I'm reading, in case you're curious, is Glucose Revolution. This was recommended online, and as you guys know, I've been wearing a glucose monitor. I have 2 more left that have been sent to me, and I want to read this before I put them on, so I'm excited. This is my first book of 2023. It really has nothing to do with the goals other than it's the first one I'm starting with for the year. I'm excited about it. Number 2, I have purchased a journal. Basically, every single day it gives me a devotional. It gives me scripture to read to finish reading the Bible in an entire year, and it gives me journal space. I want to create this as part of my morning routine. I have learned that when you habit stack, when you're used to doing something and you add one more thing in, it becomes part of your routine, and I really feel like having the daily Bible reading, devotional, journaling will be really great as a foundation for my day, and I'm really excited. I have a friend that's doing it with me, which I think is exciting, but it is something that I'm doing very personal to myself that I think is going to be a great start to my day. So in 2022, I got really good at carrying this planner with me, where I have a lot of notebooks that I keep notes in, and it's super unstructured, but I've realized I really need some sort of a planner that's structured with it. So instead of having just notes, I have added in this 2023 planner, and I'm really excited about it. So this is going to keep me a little structured. I'm not super organized, but I need to get into the habit of daily looking at my planner. So with 3 kids that are in sports, have appointments, physical therapy, checkups, all the things, I need to just be better about doing a daily review of my calendar for not only that exact day, but the week and what's coming up. So part of my morning routine, I also want to incorporate just a daily review of my planner. This is the planner I'm using. I actually really like it. Again, I'll link it below. It's going to sound really minor to those of you that are gym rats, but I want to have a goal of 3 structured workouts a week. I am fairly active. I like to go on walks. I like to do my treadmill while I'm working, but it's nothing structured, and I might have a week where I do it 7 days, and then I might have the next week where I don't do a lot. I just want a little bit more structure and consistency. So whether it's doing my weighted hula hoops or a kettlebell workout or walking on my treadmill, it doesn't really matter. I'm not having a goal associated with that. I just want 3 workouts that are very intentional, at least half an hour in duration every single week. So then I have less weeks where I am super intense and then do absolutely nothing. I want a little bit more of a mellow consistency. Once it's nice outside, I pretty much go on walks every single day. It's just the winter I struggle with a little bit more. My next goal is to develop more healthy snacks or sides that I like to incorporate into my eating window. So things that have really become staples for me in 2022 are things like roasted pepitas, pistachios, cottage cheese, Element. I have really incorporated all of those things into my eating window on a regular basis, and I feel like it's been really good for me. Also, having really delicious foods that are healthy kind of doesn't leave room for as much junk. So I want to have more of that. I want to discover and incorporate more foods. I have to be very intentional in my grocery shopping and making sure that I keep foods like cottage cheese on hand. And to make it more of did I achieve it or not, my goal is to have 5 new recipes that I have learned and mastered that I can easily incorporate as window openers or parts of meals. And some of them that I am thinking of already from new cookbooks or just because I've been thinking about it a lot are pickled vegetables. I really want to learn to do that. I want to learn to make super greens from Panda Express. I want a copycat recipe of theirs, and a chickpea salad that has cheese and cucumbers and chickpeas, very fresh. Those are 3 that I'm thinking of. I like so many foods. I like the really good for you things, and I like the really bad for you things. And if I'm more intentional about keeping the really good for you things and they're still delicious and still really satisfying but also really good for me, obviously I'm going to be better off if I focus on those instead of defaulting over here to the easier things. Okay, so my final goals all are about this business. I do treat my YouTube, my blog, my Amazon work. It is a business. I pretty much work full time, if not more, and I have goals relevant to that. So number 1 is to launch my podcast within the first quarter of 2023. That means I need to get on recording interviews, editing them, learning how to edit. I can't imagine it's too different, but it's a little scary to put myself out there. I need to record interviews, edit the interviews, get them published, and get them on hosting sites. I've taken the course, I have my music, I just need to do it now. So end of March is definitely a realistic time frame. It kind of puts a fire under me, but it's also enough time to get some work started. And then once I get the ball rolling, I know it's going to be just like my YouTube channel. Yes, it's work, but it'll be comfortable because I'll be in a rhythm of a schedule, and hopefully you guys love it as much as I'm excited for it. If this is all news to you and you're not familiar with my upcoming podcast, I am going to have Intermittent Fasting Foodie as a podcast where it's going to be interviewing fellow intermittent fasters who love food. It's going to focus on food freedom and enjoying food in your window. So whether you're keto, vegan, or eat most things like myself, it's just focusing on the joy of food in your eating window and how your mindset shifts have occurred. But it's really a focus on fasting and food together. So if that sounds of interest to you and you want to potentially be on my podcast, send me an email. I will link that in the description below, just some information, and I'd love to hear from you. I'm building a nice long list of potential interviewees, and I only need 52 to do an entire year, so I need you guys. So another goal is related to my podcast is just to have a single sponsor on the podcast. It's going to be a new show. It has to get off the ground and running. And I know for listeners, sponsors aren't like the best part of it, but it costs money to host. It costs money to do the streaming and the equipment and everything. And I am investing a significant chunk to get the podcast going. So to have a podcast sponsor, even if it's one for one show, I'm going to consider it a success. So if you're watching this, call me. The other one, I'm going to be a little less specific with you guys because it's very personal, but I would like to earn more in 2023 than I ever have in a corporate career. Just a little background for you guys. I worked for our federal government for quite a while before I quit to be a stay-at-home mom. So I have my bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, and I really enjoyed working. I, however, had a change of heart. I really felt called to be a stay-at-home mom when my oldest was born. So my husband and I worked really hard to make that a reality. And I quit my job almost 7 years ago now. So having the ability to earn an income at home while still feeling like a stay-at-home mom is an extreme blessing, but it's also allowing us to start saving for college funds. It's allowing us to start a retirement for myself. Things that I've given up or we've put on hold the last 7 years, trying to play catch up now. I have no doubts that I made the right choice. This has been wonderful for our family, but earning more, staying home would just really feel like amazing, honestly. I'm sharing it with you guys just because it is one of my goals for the year. So those are my goals for 2023. But one thing I want to share with you is to consider this. Goals don't have to add to your day. Goals don't have to be more that you're doing or add on. If your goal is to have a more relaxed lifestyle, if your goal is to get stuff off your plate for peace of mind, for comfort, to enjoy your day-to-day, and you have too much on your plate, that can be a goal. Your goal can be to let go of some things that aren't what you want as part of your day. You might be surprised that I don't have any fasting specific goals other than focusing on some new healthy snacks that I enjoy on a regular basis. I have always maintained my 18-hour minimum. That is my goal for fasting. I didn't add that to my 2023 list because I've been doing that for 2.5 years. Additionally, I'm not sure that that's going to be my everyday. Reading The Fast Like a Girl really got me to think maybe I need to change things up to maybe match my cycle a little bit more. So I'm open to changes. I didn't add anything that's ongoing. This was all just my new things for 2023. I hope you feel encouraged and inspired to tackle 2023 with whatever goals are going to make your life even 1% better. How can you embrace each day more? How can you find more fulfillment every day? What can you do for yourself? I would love to know any goals or all of your goals in the comments below. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit with me and talk 2023 goals. It's going to be an awesome year for all of us that make it awesome, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for all of us. If fasting is one of your goals for the year and you want to see how a commitment to zero and the power of zero and the commitment to fast can impact your life, you can check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Ciao, Donna, ciao.